Back here once again. Sorry for the late start. Yeah, a bit of a storm coming our way here in the DMV, that's the Maryland, D.C., and Virginia area. So it's going to be a bit rough. Hopefully not going to be as rough as it was after an hour ago because I couldn't get anything else started and all that good stuff. But I'm here live right now talking to you here in the Dukect Lounge. Anyone think? Thank you very much for joining me. And I have to say that, wow, this is really, really, really a very interesting day to be here, talking to you live here in the Dukect Lounge. Anyway, we're going to be talking about, a couple things today. We're going to be talking about Randy Orton's sudden suspension for 60 days, his second wellness suspension. We'll be talking about that. And also, we'll be talking about TNA Impact's first live episode, and we'll talk about the show in general, and what I watched, and what your opinions of this show, and what are your thoughts about it. Remember, if you're not here live, remember, you can always talk about the comments on Blip and or YouTube or what have you. And everything else, since we'll be uploaded on Blip and YouTube and everything else. We'll be talking about that, the Impact, and the Randy Orton suspension. But first, let's get on to Randy Orton's suspension. As we all know, it was this week, back it was a couple of days ago, May 30th, it was 2 days ago, May 30th, 2012, that WWE.com has reported that Randy Orton has been suspended for 60 days. And one must wonder what is going to be the huge thing. What's just going to happen? I mean, because a lot of people are wondering what's the shoe to drop. Is Randy Orton ever going to get? Is Orton going to get fired? Is this going to be the end of his career? And my personal thought about this is, I thought Randy Orton has left this stuff. Has really, got his demons behind him. I mean, you remember, most of us remember that, he was a bit of, out there for most of his, in his beginning of his career. I mean, he was kicked out of the Army. I mean, before he got WWE, he was kicked out of the Army. Then in WWE, he was, doing a lot of crazy stuff. And over the years, it looked like he calmed down and basically, the crazy stuff, trashing hotel room, failing a wellness suspension. In fact, he failed the wellness suspension twice, but, because of the whole sports, the entire sports, the Sports Illustrated come out with guys and steroids, which back in 2007, it was rolled in with that one, so, he already paid his punishment for it. That sort of thing. And you thought that, wow, I mean, hopefully after all that, Randy Orton has been basically on the straight and narrow. He really hadn't, nothing really major to report. And the fact he looked like he was enjoying a really good run as, like, say, for example, the World Champions and all that type of stuff, being on top of the SmackDown's top card. And he was doing pretty well. In fact, getting people over and everything else. Randy Orton has been doing pretty well. And then when you hear about this, I'm really, to be frank with you, I'm really worried. I mean, Randy Orton, as much as as everyone else. I mean, Randy Orton is one of the guys who are the pillars of the WWE, and not only that, he's mostly a really good guy backstage, and he has family now. He's supposed to be relaxed and cool and everything else. I wonder how that's going to affect him, how this whole thing is going to affect him. Because hopefully after this, he may be a lot more, on top of what he puts in his body, or hopefully he isn't going back to his old and self-destructive ways. Because a lot of people, you may not like him or hate him or what have you, but he is a really good talented wrestler. And I don't want to see someone. I don't want him to become a statistic. And that's my real. That's how I feel like Randy Orton, who I really do believe Randy Orton has an opportunity to become someone great. That is something I think is something positive. I just really think that Randy Orton has that opportunity to be something really positive. And with this, I don't know. I just really don't know what's the whole thing about Randy Orton and the reasons what he was going towards. We don't know what's going on yet. Let me just see the reason why he was suspended. It bothers me. It really does. Randy Orton and everything else. And now supposedly WWE knew, supposedly according to BleacherReport.com or what have you, it says that WWE knew about Randy and his wellness suspension. And I am getting the article is getting loaded up right now. And see, come on. Stupid ads. I should have had this thing open. But it says that supposedly everyone knew about radio, but yet they knew about it. But then we had a few days in advance to know what was going to happen. The story is that, and everything else, everyone knew about Randy Orton's upcoming suspension, but yet he came up and RKO'd The Miz, and that's it. It looked really strong. I don't know. It just really just feels really bad. Just because honestly, it basically put Miz in a very precarious position. But why would you basically put him out there to him to get to bury the Miz or what have you? I mean, you need to start putting up these stars because I gotta say, Randy Orton, as much as I love Randy Orton and Cena, and everything else, they need to start getting those new stars up. I mean, I'm hopeful that they are going to start doing that because, quite honestly, there's a lot of backlog of guys who should be main eventing at this point. The Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, and the like, and what have you. But it just seems to me that they're stuck in this upper mid-card and never really growing and never really doing anything. This is something, or what have you, this is something that Randy Orton and this whole Randy Orton side of this whole thing is the more positive thing aspect is that they might have to start pushing new and younger stars to give them a chance to connect with the audience. And I hope, and I really hope, is that the WWE does, because when Randy Orton comes back, they don't get coward and just stop pushing that said wrestler or stop pushing everyone else, that sort of thing. That's my hope, is that the WWE takes this opportunity, make a negative out of this, turn to a positive, and get these new and young stars, and actually become more of a positive, and get some new young stars in the spotlight to move WWE forward. Because you can only depend on John Cena versus Big Show matches until it gets put to the point it gets to be monotonous, and they're already past that point. But anyway, that's my whole take on it. And that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, moving on, we're going to our TNA stuff. TNA Impact goes live and all that crazy stuff that's going on in TNA Impact these days. But first, we're gonna listen. I'm gonna put up another song from OC Remix. So we're gonna put up Legend of Zelda. This Triforce has too many. This Link to the Past. This Triforce has too many pieces. OC Remix. Hopefully you will enjoy it. And we'll be right back after the song. It's Dukect Lounge. And right back at you. Right after this. Let's talk about TNA. We're going to be talking about TNA today. Now, I watched Impact Live, and let me tell you, before I go on this bashing, I saw some good stuff. I didn't see Rude and Sting, which I heard that was actually a pretty good match. But I did see Chris Sabin versus Austin Aries, and I gotta say, not a bad match. I liked it. I thought it was a good match. A little too short, but I think it was something of, I felt like those guys were going through the motions, not much anything. I really think Chris Sabin could have been something a lot more interesting. But anyway, there was a lot more negative stuff. Or what have you, it just seems to me there was a lot of things. It's just really not really interesting is the Devon versus Hardy thing. It's just I felt like, to me, that Devon versus Hardy, I gotta say, they had something interesting going. I thought it was building up some, but then we have Robbie E. and Robbie, I don't know, Big Rob. I don't care about these two. These two guys just completely and utterly are pointless, and I just don't care about them. And I know a lot of you guys, I know there's some Robbie E. fans, but I don't see what the big deal is. All his offense is just his rest holds, drop kick, rest holds, finish, which I never liked Robbie E. I never liked him. It just seems like he's not really that interesting, or not that. He didn't show me much. Maybe when he turns face, he'll do something, but honestly, he just seems so bland. Nothing really interesting. That's the main problem with Robbie E. He has no real interest. I mean, he's not really that interesting to me. And besides, you already have another guy doing that Long Island gimmick and everything else, and he's doing it better. Just frustrates me. Anyway, and by the way, this is, how many times has he done this already? Robbie has gotten chance after chance after chance. I think it's time for him to move on. Or, I don't know, Hulk Hogan should say, hey, brother, you keep involved with my matches and everything else. You know what, brother? You know, if you can involve yourself in any TV title match, you're done. That should be it. Hogan should just lay down low saying, you know what? If you keep interfering in the TV matches, you're suspended indefinitely. How's that? And you have to earn your way back into getting the TV title picture. You know, that sort of thing. Instead of just having him keep doing the same damn going thing over and over again. Brooke Hogan, what have you. Yeah, I don't care. I look personally about Brooke Hogan. There's like Mike today trying to hype her up in the most, where it's like, oh, she is an accomplished singing career and a great television actress. Yeah, her singing career that went absolutely nowhere. And her acting, I don't know, maybe television actress and what have you. I mean, what, Hogan's Knows Best? Really? That was a reality show, and I honestly didn't really catch most of it. I didn't really care for it. But anyway, there are Brooke Hogan fans, and they are one. They just said that a guy had a sign saying Brooke Hogan equals ratings, but I don't know, that person was a plan or actually a real fan, but I don't know. It just, I don't know. I don't know what's special about Brooke Hogan besides her last name. Maybe she can prove me wrong. That's my hope, is that, you know, it works. That's my hope, if it works. A TNA Hall of Fame. I was like, really, a Hall of Fame? I really think a TNA Hall of Fame would be best, like maybe even 15 or 20 years of existence, not 10. It just seems around, if you've been around 10 years, it just doesn't really worthy of a Hall of Fame. To me, I think a worthy of Hall of Fame should be like maybe 20 or 25 years, not 10 years. But anyway. And the gut check thing just really bothered me. You have guys, I don't get this. Alex Silva, who didn't really impress anyone, kissed a lot of ass and got the contract. We had Joey Ryan, who actually impressed. I saw the match, by the way. I saw the match against him and Austin Aries. And I have to say, he impressed me. He looked good and took the X Division champ to the limit. And this doesn't get a contract because... it just bothers me. And he had a pretty good line. He said, you don't leave money on the table, and yet Taz just squashed him right there. I'm like, really? Are they going to try to do some type of rebelling authority? I mean, I'm tired of that. And I personally don't like this whole gut check thing. You know what? Screw it. I don't care about the gut check thing. And I really wish it just shows his cards right there. I just feel like, honestly, if Alex Silva, who didn't really do anything, just kissed the guy's butts, what have you, You get a contract. That was it. Man, that really sucks, and I hate that. I hate it. A good concept, and it goes away out the ring. It goes away out the ringside. That's TNA. TNA takes good concepts and craps on them. It seems like if only you had someone with a logic and actually with some brains, maybe this company would actually not be the laughing stock. And then we have the Dixie, AJ, Kaz, and Daniels crap. Look, I like all these guys. I like all the people involved here. AJ, founder of TNA and everything else. Kaz, great young talent, should be main eventing. Daniels should have been TNA World Champion. And Dixie Carter, as much as I don't like her on-screen personality, she is the owner of the company, and she handles herself well. But this thing is so stupid. I'm sorry. As much as I like AJ and Daniels, this feud has been going too long. I'm tired of it. And personally, if they want to do something new and interesting in it, how about, I don't know, have AJ Styles be the heel and Daniels as the face? How's that? I think they were teasing it for Destination X. I was like, hey, Daniels as the face, AJ as the heel. Heck, I might, you know what, that might be a good booking challenge if anyone wants to do it. Or maybe I should. Who cares? But honestly, if you want me to do something like that, leave something in the comments. Because, quite honestly, AJ as the heel does pretty good. Daniels as a good up-and-coming face. Beats AJ Styles or something. If you steal for the belt or what have you, will be really good. And actually be really fun and actually show a new dimension for the AJ Styles and Daniels feud. Like AJ as the douchebag heel saying, yeah, you never beat me, and then Daniels beats him not once or twice or what have you. It makes sense, and AJ's getting frustrated. That would have been a good heel turn. That would have been a good story. And Kaz, I don't know what you do with Kaz. Just have him wrestle in the TV title thing. Instead of him basically tag teaming with Daniels and using zip ties. Seriously, they use zip ties on Kurt Angle. I'm like, you can't even afford handcuffs. You got to do zip ties. And then, honestly, what is this? I don't care about it anymore. The crowd didn't care. They were like, it was dead silence. So I'm like, no, I say it was just dead silence because apathy. This crowd didn't care. No one cared. And honestly, what's the end game of this? Is that AJ Styles is a horrible human being? Newsflash, everyone does. I don't get it, and what have you. I mean, let's be really real here. The only person in the team and what have you has really gotten huge because of their relationship is probably Jeff Jarrett. I mean, just Jeff Jarrett, who actually has the longest reign of the TNA Championship, not Bobby Roode. That guy. Remember him? He was the one who had the stroke. Instead, it's AJ Styles, the up-and-coming babyface and what have you. That guy's the evil one. I don't get it. I don't know. Just to me, I'm tired of this storyline. I'm tired of AJ and Daniels. I'm tired of Cass. I'm just probably wishes this Cass is great cafe, just beat the crap out of AJ and Daniels. Just screw this. I'm going like this. F both of y'all. I'm going for the World Heavyweight title. That actually would be a good positive thing of this whole thing. Because honestly, I think most people would agree that, you know what, Kaz is getting wasted here. Everyone's getting wasted here. And I just feel like this show just left me just frustrated. And thank goodness I didn't sit and watch the entire show. Because actually I was switching between the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder. Pretty good basketball game, to be quite fair. And a lot more entertaining than this pile of crap. It just frustrates me because TNA always has something. I always want to say, TNA, you guys are at the. You guys could be something of a true alternative. People are dying for an alternative. And what do? You take that hope and optimism, and people want to be fans, and you just slap them across the face. You don't let this stuff out. All you do is just say, oh, well, we're just going to just do this stuff and get, do something completely stupid and put us to swerve. I get no one else to see this coming. I can't stand it. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating, And this is why people don't watch it. In fact, this is why TNA will never get beyond where it is. Well, I can't wait for TNA Slammiversary. That's going to be fun. It's only a week away. Anyway. Oh, and by the way, I missed the Broly Ray, Joseph Park, Chris, Abyss, storyline, Cluster F. I don't even know or care anymore. Anyway, I missed that, and a lot of people cry. I have to watch the whole thing and everything else. I'm gonna probably watch a lot of it over the weekend and everything else, and hopefully will put me in the right state of mood, right state of mind, so I can really bitch at TNA. Anyway, that's all I gotta say here. This is Duke CT here. Peace and love. I'll see y'all when I see y'all later.